Alrighty, let's get started. So next up, we have our founders panel. I have the privilege to moderate this great panel with Seyi, CTO of Gamr, one of our PES studio companies, Gaia, CEO of Reusable Logistics, David, CFO of PingPod, Adam, managing partner of Tawkify. And so now we will get started. And just a reminder, we are live streaming the session via Zoom. So we have some attendees there. And for those folks in the room next door, let's come in. Alrighty, so hi everyone. Welcome to the Founders Panel. This is around the discussions of what it's like to be a founder, what kind of company they are building, the goods and bads of being a founder, and also many more. To begin, I want to introduce you to our panelists here today. On my left side, we have Seyi, a visionary entrepreneur, serves as the co-founder and chief technical officer at Gamr, an innovative gaming startup. Holding an MBA degree from Pace University's Lubin School of Business, Seyi boasts a decade-long track record in technology product development and streamlining business operations, spanning both B2C and B2B domains. His career features stints at dynamic high-growth ventures like Andela, a global engineering outsourcing firm valued at $1 billion. Next, we have Adam. He is the managing director at Tawkify. He's a 14-year veteran of the dating and mobile space and sold his anti-superficial dating app to Tawkify in 2023, which is earlier this year. Adam was the managing partner of Chappy, Bumble's gay dating app, and has worked for companies including the Meet Group, Zoosk, and Perry Street, and more. Adam hails from Montreal, Canada, and lives in New York City. He is also a partner at the Venture Collective and advises startups in the consumer space. Next, we have David. He is the creator of the PingPod concept. He is the company's CFO, and his area of expertise are in finance and strategy. Prior to PingPod, he was an associate at UBS Securities Equity Research Division of the investment bank. David was part of the client-facing team and provided investment recommendations to institutional clients. David's background is in finance, accounting, economics, writing, and communication. Wow, that's a lot. He holds a bachelor's degree in business administration and master's in finance from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Gaia is a Gen Z French-American who was born in Hong Kong and is now living in Brooklyn, New York. She has been working in the climate tech space as a founder for almost 3 years. Previous to that, she worked with Madison Square Garden, where she helped rewire gifting supply chains to mitigate waste and unlock new data captures. Now she's a co-founder and CEO of Reusable Logistics, where she's working to mitigate waste at scale. Hobbies include writing, purchasing plants, and breaking down conceptual barriers for new founders. And if you missed me earlier, I am Arah. I'm the director here at Pace Entrepreneurship Studio, PS for short. And if you have any startup ideas, come by, say hello. I want to learn more about what you're building. Now, with that being said, I've introduced all our founders here today, but I would like to learn more about your companies and what you're building. So let's starting with Seyi, to David, to Gaia, and Adam. Give us an introduction of your company.
Thanks, Arah. Hi, everyone. My name is Seyi Fakoya, co-founder, CTO at Gamr. Gamr pretty much is building infrastructure for competitive gaming. We allow people make money playing video games. So in plain English. So if you show of hands. Any gamers out here? Okay. All right. So I got some customers. Anyone made money playing video games? Have you made money? Oh, you have. How much did you get? Right. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, so pretty much what we're trying to build out over the next decade is a one-stop shop, all-in-one platform for all needs for gamers. So I started a company with two other amazing co-founders, Eniola and Kumi, and we started in Nigeria. We've been able to build out over the past 24 months to about 300,000 users, spread across 15 markets, primarily in Africa, and we're excited about expanding here to the US with the help of the Pace Entrepreneurship Studio. Also, we've raised some capital. We're still very early stage, and we're excited about the journey. We're going to an accelerator that I can't say so much right here. So if you want to know, just tell me, okay, which accelerator did you get into? Because the public knowledge will come out next week, and I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Arah, for inviting us in. My name is David Silberman. I'm the founder of Seyi. So, just quick, my show of hands. Has anyone heard of before this event? Who here plays or has this? For the most part, PingPod is a universal game. So it's for everyone, all ages, demographics. So it's really a sport that applies to everyone. So, excuse me. Back in 2019, I was working at UPS in yesterday, and I always knew I wanted to start a company. I was a very voracious listener of how I built this podcast. So every year that I was at the bank, I was realizing it was harder for me to go and start. So at some point, I just kind of took the plunge, quit my job. I knew I wanted to get involved in the PingPod space because I had been a passionate player my entire life. And I figured that there was a big supply and demand imbalance in New York City. So I met my co-founders very serendipitously. They're fantastic partners. Max is a experienced operator, finance guy. Ernesto was the #1 table tennis player in the US in 2016. So I got together with them, and I thought of this concept for an autonomous network of table tennis locations. So I figured that I could use technology to enable this autonomous concept where you book a reservation and there are no employees on site. So one of the lessons that Spring learned to entrepreneurs is the power of an idea. So I had this kind of wacky ping pong technology concept, and I just started to kind of spread the word amongst my friends and family, and I serendipitously got in touch with my co-founders who are far more experienced than I was, that they saw the potential of my idea. And so I kind of got my foot in the door with that. At first they were like, what do we need you for, kid? We're starting our own thing. And when I presented the PingPod concept to them, that really allowed me to get in the door with these experienced co-founders. So we were able to raise a little bit of money and open our first location in the Lower East Side in 2020, in February 2020. So we all know what happened after that. COVID shut us down. But we were one of the first non-essential businesses to reopen in New York City because of our contactless nature. Again, PingPod is a company where there are no employees working on site. So we opened up, and off of the success of that first location, people came running in looking for something to do, something social. And we were able to raise more money in this seed round and open our subsequent locations. And those did even better than the first location. So we really felt like we were on something. And ultimately, the unit economics of the locations allowed us to raise a Series A with Sequoia Heritage as our lead investor. So that gave us the capital to kind of accelerate forward. And today we have 20 locations around New York City, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Boston. We're opening in Chicago, Miami, and we just opened in the UK about a week ago. So now we are international. And we also acquired a company called Sharks, which is a pool company, and they were also kind of built as an autonomous concept. So now we have multiple brands in our portfolio, PingPod and Sharks, and we applied our autonomous system and technology to Sharks. So if you go on the Sharks website or iOS app, you're going to see the same back end as you do for PingPod. So we proved that our technology worked across multiple verticals. And then from there, most recently, what we've done is we've launched a SaaS product, which we're calling Palliere. So we took this system that we built for PingPod, where we really invented the autonomous operating model for recreational verticals or experiences. And we figured that we could license it to other venue operators outside of the PingPod space. So as of today, we have about 7 clients in the pickleball and paddle markets. So we license our reservation system to these operators. And really now the name of the game is like we're focusing a lot on the play technology business, given the scalability and market size of pickleball. I don't know if you guys probably know about the explosion of the pickleball market. So thousands of facilities are coming online. And my goal is to be the default for operators. So that's the story of PingPod in a nutshell. I have some other kind of thoughts and words of wisdom that I quickly talk about.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gaia. I am the co-founder and CEO of Reusable Logistics. We call it Relo for short. I'll give you a brief overview of what we're up to and what we're about. I know that you guys came to hear a little bit more about the founder experience. So we are a climate tech geared company. We help companies transition away from single-use product packaging into reusable models. So we're a data platform that de-risks that, makes the data valuable. We are very early. We launched earlier this year. We just finished a pilot program with Smorgasborg, which is the food markets located across the nation, but flagships are here. We're excited to target food service, healthcare, and soon to be e-com CPG. So excited to chat with you guys today.
My experience sounds pretty basic compared to all that. I don't know, big ball guys. My name is Aslatei. I was the CEO and founder of a company called S'more, which is the world's first anti-superficial dating product. Think about Love is Blind, but in your pocket for all of you. So let's not judge people or be judged based on a photo, but let's have conversations. And the more you chat with the person, the more of them you get to see. So this is an intentional dating product. My experience, I built my first dating website, website, for apps existed in 2008 as a grad student at Harvard. And I wanted to meet students outside of my field of study. And so I built this website, people loved it. You got some people in law school, business school, divinity, design. And then I spent my career working for companies including the Meat Group, Gaia, Zeus, Bumble, started my own company. And in 2023, January of this year, I sold my company to Tawkify. For those of you who don't, actually, how many people here have heard of Tawkify? None, right? There, before me. Okay. So Tawkify is actually, it's the largest matchmaking company in the country by far. We have over 10,000 paying clients who are looking to find love, and then we have a database or a network of over 1 million singles in this country. And we have coaches and matchmakers, and we set you up on actual, legitimate, real dates with real people who want to be in relationships, which sounds crazy, but most dating apps do not do that. The success rate of our company is 80%. So 80% of people leave our company because they found love. For the dating app, it's 9. Dating apps are fun to use. I spent my career working for them. Amazing for casual encounters, not as great for long-term relationships. So anything about dating relationships that you want to know, I'm happy to answer that information.
We will also have Adam and Megan outside in the tabling hub. If you guys have any questions about dating, they're all the experts here. And they also announce a new feature of their Down the Road app later this year. So learn more from them. All right. For the next question is, I want to talk about the good and the bad of having your own company. Many people don't see the sweat and tears behind what it's actually like being a founder, only the glamorous part of it. So tell us, what are some things that your company experienced throughout your journey to our audience? We can start with Adam.
So I've been working for a lot of large companies that have money to spend on things. Then I created my own company and didn't. It was really difficult to go from resources to no resources. I think that from my vantage point, I knew the industry that I was operating in very well. So I felt confident that there was a white space. On the other hand, I had never raised money from the VC. And so telling them that I'm creating another dating app when there's a gazillion dating apps wasn't really what they wanted to hear. Then I said, and I just left Bumble, they said, okay, here's some money, go build it. So I think that having experience in the industry is very helpful when you're thinking about raising money. This to me is a labor of love. I love love. I love bringing people together. I'm in the coolest profession ever. I'm definitely learning to be, and I enjoy it. I enjoy bringing people together. I think that there's no better job in the world. And I thought that the dating app process was going to be where I spent my career. Little did I know that I am working for a matchmaking company, which is actually even better than the dating app. The good thing about being a founder is you are your own boss. The bad thing is you are your own boss. So everything falls on you. You are asking, you're the approval, right? And so when I created my company, the thing that I did, I think the best is hiring. You know, a product was always a work in process, different concept, getting people used to not seeing photos in an app. The team that I created was by far the best team I've ever worked with. And when we got acquired, half of why we were acquired is because of our team. We scaled our app with very little money to 550,000 users in a very short period of time with 8 employees. And we had total customer service. We also produced our own celebrity dating show with 300 episodes. We did marketing very well. We knew what we were doing and we executed. The hardest part, I think, from my vantage point, is the stress level that you were under. I was a sole founder, so there's no one to cry to except yourself. So it's nice to have, I'm married, it's nice to have a spouse, so you can go home and either shut off or cry to. But no, it is very difficult. It's a new level of stress that you've never experienced before. And now that my company has been sold and I'm somewhere else, everything seems so much easier. You know, and so this is why I'm managing, this company has 300 employees, I'm managing, I don't know, 50 or 60 people, much like the company. This is it. Give me more. When you have your own company, it's really the hardest thing that you'll ever do, I think, in your life, if you're a founder. Yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad to being a founder. I think you will experience your own brands and versions of what that is. Everyone goes on their own journey. I think the good part is hopefully you are starting something or you're embarking on this journey because you believe that something needs to exist. There's a reason they say that, you know, if you're in it for the money, you're not going to find fulfillment or happiness because you don't get money in the first year typically. And feel rich, you know, you raise around, you're not, you know, taking private jets. The thing about the bad parts of it is that that good is supposed to fuel you through that. And to your point, you are your own boss. That's good. You are your own boss. That's bad. Same thing for you are your own product at the end of the day. You're creating your solution. You are talking to your customers. You are understanding what your customers need. You're talking to investors if that's the route that you're going in, which, by the way, is not everyone's route. And so you are your own product, and that can get very personal on this route. That can make or break your confidence. That can make or break, you know, your understanding of what you're bringing to the table, and not understand exactly why people say no. And sometimes you can look in the mirror and not look at your company. And in those moments, I really think leaning on a community is extremely important. And that is a hugely great part of this space as well. There is so much community here. People say trauma bonding. That is absolutely present in this. And because of that, you will find incredible people on the way. Whether or not you become a unicorn or you become a company that makes it to, a billion in ARR, you will come out with an incredible experience. You will come out with an incredible community. And so there are so many goods and so many bads, and I'm sure you will find new versions of what that means for you now. So that's my take.
All set. By the way, I totally thought we were supposed to do like a 5 or 10 minute like sweeping overview of our businesses. So apologies for the weirdly long intro.
No, it wasn't long at all. What are you talking about?
I have two co-founders. Team dynamics are very difficult. You're like entering into a marriage with these people. So dispute resolution becomes very important. Finding ways to mitigate escalation. Like you'd be surprised how fights and arguments that are over the small things can be the ones that really flex egos and so in terms of working on a team as a founder, I would say finding management solutions and resolution, ways of resolving disputes with your team is critical, and also feeding off of each other's positive energy and being a family with your co-founders is really the way to get through these what seem like insurmountable obstacles at times. Starting a company is definitely a crazy roller coaster. So be prepared to enjoy the ups and put your seatbelt on for the downs and hopefully find energy from your core team and from the community that built.
Thanks. I'll come from it from a time management point of view. So when I started Gamr, I was a week into my MBA program. And so if you're doing a master's degree, it's insane already. Like there's just so much work, assignments, group work, lectures, odd hours. And then I had to build on a time zone that is 5 hours behind, sometimes 6 hours behind, because the market that we started from was in Nigeria and Africa as well. And so I usually sleep. So like just 3 hours, pretty much 3 hours. And then that's kind of like my sleep pattern for close to 2 years. And then having to speak with from investors in Africa and to other partners that we work with on the market. But thankfully, it goes back to the community that the team has said, like, it's important. I also have co-founders, so we're able to lighten the load for me, but I'm product and technology, so I have to talk a lot to my team. So the way I approach it is asynchronous conversations. So I do a lot of recordings, I do a lot of documentation work. So it makes it easy for the team to grasp what I'm thinking. But it's really not easy in general. And sometimes for us as a company, as a startup, very early stage company, little or no money, there's always almost like countdown to, you want to like to death, like trying to shut down your company. And then all of a sudden you just get the slim of, oh, Seyi, I looked at your company, here's another 100,000. And so sometimes like, oh, great. And then you have that energy again. So think of it like you get more caffeine as you go. But yeah, notice you would not like a lot of folks are not going to like listen to you earlier when it comes to starting your company. But I think it goes back to you are building for something to exist in the world. And then that gives you that passion to continuously persevere. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Just to clarify, we are not trying to discourage anyone from founding a company. It's more so of to kind of be more transparent and kind of let you know, these are some things that, I don't know, potentially challenges that founders experience. Now, with that being said, I want to change the topic. I love data. I love traction. So tell us some fun tractions about your company. I know, Adam, you mentioned about the 500,000 paid users. Tell us more. So this time we can start with Gaia, then we'll go around.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we are very early. We launched our MVP a little over 3.5-4 months ago. And then we just finished up post that a 12-week pilot with Smorgasbord. So currently we're also scoping out Madison Square Garden. One of our advisors is the VP of tech over there. And it's a journey. But yeah, that's more current up-to-date traction on what we're up to.
To date, we have 62,000 signups. So people who have made an account on PingPod. We have about another 10,000 on Sharks. And I would say that in terms of customer acquisition for brick and mortar, it's, we rely a lot on our physical real estate. So we pick really good site selections on corner locations, high traffic locations, and the way I always said that part of our rent budget is our marketing budget. So if you invest in good real estate, you really see dividends on visibility and organic traction. Other than that, marketing, I'm not the marketing person on the team. Aaron Feinberg, who actually is the co-founder of Cutes NYC, if you've heard of it, at millions of followers now. He is our director of growth. He's the genius behind the data analytics and getting traction for our brands. But one lesson that I've learned over the years is marketing isn't one viral thing. There's no panacea, right? Maybe for Dollar Shave Club, that brilliant video that we remember from 10 years ago, can really launch brand, but those are behind the dust. So it's a confluence of things like that compound over time. So, PingPod taking the time and effort to participate in this. Thanks again for everybody hosting us. This room is now aware of PingPod. Now maybe you tell your friends, maybe some of you visit PingPod, and that really all adds up. So it's a confluence of factors that for brick and mortar drive strategy.
Yeah. So for us, we I think by the end of the year, I mean, for current numbers, I think we're about 360 something thousand and change. Our monthly active users is about 24%. So still not, it can get better. For our daily active users, it's kind of still figuring around that 15%, going back every day to go on the app, play in tournaments, play a game, and just try and win money, because that's kind of our initial product. We grew mostly from collaborations and partnerships. So from a customer acquisition cost point of view, we leverage brands like Pepsi, Logitech, Red Bull, who are trying to deploy gaming strategies in the markets we exist today. And then they already have huge followers. So they just come through to see, what's Gamr? And then they sign up to be able to participate in these sponsored tournaments. On the other end is we work primarily with communities. So we also go to Facebook groups, Discord servers, and then we acquire users from there and just sort of give them value and just sort of turn them onto a platform. The other piece is also working with colleges and high schools. In Nigerian market specifically, we signed a 10-year agreement, exclusive agreement with the association that manages all sports and events in about 92 universities, pretty much all universities. And that gives us a gateway to 5 million users over the next 5 years. So pretty kind of how we are growing. On the fundraising side, a couple of numbers I can disclose here, but we've raised pretty much north of $1 million. And the goal is to be able to raise $3 million over the next 4 to 6 months, because we're going to go back into the market to really grow, specifically with the kind of things that we're doing. One with the Pace University, because one of our advisors is Jesse Budney, who is the director of Pace Esports. The goal is for us to get a bit of more knowledge, insights, go to market, specifically in the US market, raise capital, and then expand over here. Thank you.
Just to clarify, we want to inspire companies. I'm a partner at VC. So please create companies and then come to me to hear about them and fund it. C through A, come on afterwards. In terms of more, so I'm a marketer, and I think that when you build a consumer brand, you have to figure out what your go-to-market strategy is, because building the coolest product that no one knows about isn't going to cut it. And there's so many apps, there's so many businesses. How do you break through? So really think through this. For me, I'm from Canada, and in Canada, I was a childhood actor at the age of 7, which you may not know. During COVID, my husband said to me, "So what are you gonna do? Because people aren't reading. aren't you kind of screwed? This was 3 months after launch. And I'm like, they raised all this money, but people can't date. Can they communicate from afar? What are we going to do? And so I think it was March of 2020, I started a celebrity Instagram show. And, through a connection, I invited a celebrity. Her name was Martha Hunt. For those of you who know who she is, she's one of the most famous Victoria's Secret models, 5 million followers on Instagram. This was when everyone was home, so no one had anything to do, and everyone watched everything on Netflix. There's nothing else literally to do. And so Instagram and TikTok became really popular. People were just creating different kinds of videos. So I had Martha Hunt on, and I interviewed her about her dating life and relationships. We had 50,000 people watch us live, and we did the same thing every week for 3.5 years. So this was our panacea. So we created one show that ended up promoting our entire brand for eternity. And everyone tried to copy us, including Bumble, who hired Tiffany Haddish. That didn't work out. And so sometimes you just get the right combination of fun, it's salacious. We were in the New York Post every week and Us Weekly. Everyone was covering all these crazy things that celebrities were saying. And the background was small and live happy hour. And so everyone knew who we were, and that really helped to build our brand. And I think that's one of the reasons we got to such a large number of users in such a short period of time.
That's amazing. So for our founders here, talk to Adam about funding and also growth marketing.
There we go. It's happening. It's happening.
Awesome.
Just a quick thought on the traction aspect. If for those of you who are just considering going into the space or have already started, traction looks very different depending on the space that you're in. Like I said, a customer. It doesn't always need to be a customer. It could be fundraising. It could be your real estate. It could be marketing campaigns. So I think traction, when you hear it, typically you're like, I need to get a customer, and that is my first amount of traction. It could be partnerships. It could be anything that pushes you forward and moves the needle. So I just wanted to shout that out because I think that's something that is not super known to early stage founders.
Amazing. Thank you. We have 5 minutes left. Any audience Q&A? Yes.
Yes. I think your idea, depending on the space, will always be changing until you get to, as they say, product market fit in all industries. And I personally have been in the circular economy space, as wonderfully mentioned, for 3 years. And that looked, if you were to have asked me 3 years ago what the approach was, completely different. And it should look different, especially after you talk to your first set of customers. That's the whole goal. I think a big problem that exists that I've also ran through is that, you have this idea in your head and you want it so badly to exist in the world because you know this is the right answer. So you build, and you don't talk to a single customer for maybe 6 months. And then you put it out and you're like, no one wants this. No one finds value in this. So that's my answer. Yes, 100%.
I also just wanted to add, so I actually think that customers say one thing and do something else. Because we always ask our users for feedback and they would say, we like this, we don't like this, but I can see what you're doing on this app. So what you're saying, what you're doing, kind of the same thing. So what you need to do, especially for developing an app or a website, you need your analytics in place from day one. It's going to be very impressive to VCs for you to tell them exactly who's in your app, what or your platform, what have you. We use something called Amplitude really early on. And we had tons of data, and we were able to really quickly iterate on our features and optimize them and take things off, test really quickly. And so we never really had, the problem we had is we launched our app, we were in TechCrunch the next day, and you have 10,000 people that download our app and crash. Well, quickly scale. So that's also a problem. So you want to make sure you have a really stable product when you go live. I think that's important too.
Amazing.
The one quick thing I'll say is that the business plan that we wrote in 2019 is weirdly similar to what we have today. So there's also, the other side of the coin where you can envision something that actually is obviously evolved and improved, and we've added unexpected features and we've responded to customer feedback, of course. But there's also a possibility for just having that clear vision, just actually building it as you thought.
Time for one more question. Yes.
And PingPod was so unique, and so, we just stood out just by our very, the very uniqueness of the event.
Yeah, I could talk a bit. So again, what we're doing is also not necessarily unique, but it can come from the niche or the audience you're targeting. I think for us, which is why we started from the African market, gaming competitions at scale never doesn't exist because infrastructure is not necessarily existing on the continent, right? Where people can plug in their PCs or their PlayStations because purchasing power is very low as well. So it could be very niched. So again, that's one way you can start. Again, one thing is don't think about the billions of users or billions of people in the world. Just think about your immediate circle. Who would use your product? And then you can amplify from there.
Yeah, you need to think about what your differentiation is. And sometimes the differentiation could be a feature. So in our case, it was a feature, but also emotional. Because we said, let's make dating less superficial. Who doesn't want dating to be less superficial? We all do. And so for us, it's an emotional connection. But there's plenty of products that differentiate themselves just based on marketing. You think about all those alcohol brands, pretty much the same product, slap on a new logo. But what does that logo mean to people? You also need to think about having a large enough addressable audience, because even with your differentiation, a VC really wants to find $1 billion outcome. So if they don't think you have the potential of getting there, then they might not be as interested.
What I'll say is that there are so many different types of competitive landscapes, depending on the industry, as an example, Relo, we're going into an industry that is very difficult to scale. So you understand what the gaps in the market are and try and pinpoint an approach that can fill that gap. But that also might look different for different landscapes where you're creating a new feature to address a market that's not enjoying the current competition's product. So I think it's just understanding where your product lives and the landscape that is around it, and being able to really create a strong strategy for yourself, and not for don't Google like, how do I create a good competitive positioning, because it's going to be different and you have to be able to believe in it wholeheartedly. So yeah, that's my take.
Perfect. We are at time, so I will ask one last question. What advice can you share to those who want to found their own company and startup? Any resources you can share? Just one sentence from all 4 panelists.
That's tough.
Fall and feel like the road is ending, and investors are not closing that. You don't know what's going on with customers. Take a beat, walk around the block, figure out how you can center yourself and never stop. If you're a founder, you never stop.
I'll give a quote as well. Whether you believe it will fail or you believe it will work, you are correct.
Never stop. But I would say, do something entrepreneurial. If you have that moment, just go for it. No offense to corporate positions like lawyers. We need corporations, we need corporate people. But if you have the entrepreneurial moment, go for it. The world needs more entrepreneurs and risk.
Yeah, I'll just borrow from Nike. Just do it.
Yes.
And also come find me at the PES studio. If you have a startup idea, I'll be your sounding board and we can talk more about it. Thank you so much, Adam, Gaia, David, and Seyi, for your wonderful insights.